point.
Right now, we've taken like a short trip, maybe like an hour away from Misashirawa to come to Higashi Murayama. And this is the home of...
Part of Totoro was expired here, like the cartoon.
Expired or
No,
inspired?
Inspired by like, by I think these woods here, like up on this side, like something about the way they look inspired, like part of the film or something. But we haven't walked up there yet, so I'm not really sure. So I don't know. It's really confusing. I've been Googling this for a while, trying to figure out like where, like, because I know it was inspired by real places, but it's really difficult to figure out because so many people are claiming, oh, this is inspired here, this is inspired here. I don't know. It's very, very baffling. But there's like a house and stuff they've rebuilt, and that's a long way away from here. So I'm looking for stuff like kind of in our area. So I found this place, and it's supposedly a thing, but we don't know the facts behind it yet.
And the main reason that we're making this video is just to say a big thank you to the 10,000, almost 11,000 people who somehow like us. Our subscriber base is bigger than ever imagined and still growing unexpectedly, and yeah, it's really amazing. So we're glad that you're enjoying the videos, and we're really happy to make them for you. And us. They're for you and us. Yeah.
Thank you.
So along with that, we kind of just wanted to talk about what's going on in our lives recently. We're having a good number of changes come right now, basically. Number one, contract time in Japan. April is when new contracts usually start for people.
For teachers.
For teachers and some other jobs as well. For us, that means that I have stopped being a teacher and moved on to another job, and that means that Eric has re-upped his contract at the company that I used to work at, but he still works there. And that's boring, so we'll stick with me.
I'm still a teacher. Look at this train. That's pretty cool. Going through the woods.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick.
So I'm no longer a teacher. I don't have any super sprinkles to chase around. I am happy.
Whoa. Did you like teaching?
I liked some parts of teaching. And both of the jobs that I had with teaching, they had good parts and they had bad parts. I would say that my recent job was exhausting. It was really exhausting. And it mentally, physically, I just felt tired all the time. So I'm happy to not be doing that, but I do miss being around the kids and having these little people that I am forming. Like, I kind of miss having like minions, is the only word that I can think of. But, you know, just little cool people that are growing. I do miss that. I have started proofreading and editing at a company that does integrated reporting. All of this sounds very boring, okay? And in most people's view, it is epic boring. But to me, I really like what I am doing. Basically, my company gets reports from international companies that need to post their financial results for the year, for the quarter, for the anything. And they have to write these in Japanese, and they also do them in English so that they can send them abroad. So they get translated by people in my company, and also they get proofread by me. A lot of people are gonna think that's boring, but I love finding little mistakes, and every page is like a little puzzle. Is there a mistake? Is it somewhere in there? And to a proofreader, every page has a mistake, so you just gotta find it. So it's exciting to me, but I'm sure it's boring to other people. A lot of people are probably going to ask, how did you do this? How can I do this? So I'm going to tell you exactly how this happened. During my time as an ALT, I had 3 months off because of the Japanese laws, and I ended up getting a temporary job working at the company that I work at now. I got that job through Temp Staff, which is a temporary work agency which you can look them up online and they'll send you jobs like pretty easily.
But not a tremendous amount. You couldn't live off of it. Like, it's not reliable income.
It is not reliable income. So when I lost that, I didn't lose the job. I was just out of work for 3 months. I was at the job, wasn't at the job, went back to the job.
Get the contract of work.
Okay, anyways, so through temp staff, I went and I took a test to show whether I could proofread or not. And I had never proofread before on like any professional basis, so it was really like a test to see if you know anything about proofreading. That was sent to the company, and I awaited to hear if they wanted to interview me. I got a call back, and they did want to interview me. So I went to an interview at the company, and the place was just gorgeous. I can't shoot any footage of this, but it's right by the Rainbow Bridge, and it is an amazing view over
Tokyo Bay?
Tokyo Bay, yeah, Tokyo
point?
Bay.
Yeah.
So a really, really cool place, and I was really excited when I got there, like, oh my goodness, this could be amazing. So I went home, and a little while later I got a call back, and they said that they had decided they weren't going to take me. So that was a really big bummer, and so I was like, okay, we have 3 months of no income, and we'll just see how we live. 2 weeks later, turns out that the person that they chose over me dropped out, and so they needed someone, and that was me.
Second place.
Second place, but employed, which is fine. I mean, sometimes things, they just work out the way they're supposed to. So during these 3 months, I worked there with some really amazing people that I enjoyed so much and still enjoy to this day. I still go out drinking with them and enjoying their company. That kid jumped in the no zone. I went back to ALTing, and they did offer me another 3-month job during the summer, but that wasn't sufficient for me because I needed a yearly contract to stay in Japan. So instead of going to work for them the following summer, I went to the preschool, and
Them is the proofreading gig.
Yes, the proofreading
Yeah, the
gig.
following year.
Yeah. They offered me that summertime job, but I couldn't do it because I needed a full-time job, and so I went and did preschooling. A couple months before preschooling was supposed to end, I just decided, hey, why don't I just approach the people who work at this proofreading place and see if they need anyone. I knew a lot of changes had happened in the company, and there could be an opportunity there. I didn't know, I just poked my head in a door. It could have been a bad door, you never know. So I contacted one of the ladies that had come into management there, and I go drinking with her as well, and I just said, hey,
Hook a brother up.
things are about to change for me. I know that things are changing at the company. Any way that we could work together, and just because we have a good rapport and she's really enjoyed working with me and drinking with me and stuff like that, she was like, I want to work with you. And it took some time. She had to pull some strings and get people interested is a weird way to say it, but she had to get the people to know that this needs to happen. And so I went to a job interview, and I didn't know then if I'd get it or not, or if there was even a job. Like they didn't post for this job. I just contacted someone and just, I don't know. I made a job. But it turned out in the long run that they decided that they wanted to have a full-time proofreader, and I was that person. So this is all just luck. So a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh, I want to do proofreading. You got to go through all those weird hoops. So come, be an ALT for a year and a half, get kicked out of your job, go to a random company, make some friends, go back to your job that you didn't really like so much.
Take another job.
Then be a preschool teacher for a year, hoping that things will change, and then contact the people that were so nice to you in your temporary job, and then they make a job for you.
So, like, a lot of people are going to... It's very bizarre to not be fluent in Japanese and have a job outside of teaching English in Japan. So a lot of people are probably going to be like, how did you do that? And there is no simple answer. Luck. It just happened. So she just got lucky.
Yeah. And so at the moment, I only have a contract till October. So we don't really even know if I'll have a job after October. So it's not a year-long gig. The company that I work for, they do their contracts October to October. So I only have an April till October job. So I have to prove that I'm worthy, that they need me.
In theory, we assume they're going to renew our contract, but again, it's not. We don't have a promise or anything. But
Yeah.
it's not like we've been told it only exists until October. Like the implication has been that it's a permanent position. But again, maybe they're going to be like, that girl that smells bad. Like we don't want her here anymore.
Nah.
It's possible.
Nah. There was a dude when I worked there during the temporary
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Woo! Oh man. Anyways, okay, so that's like one of our major changes that has already happened.
And she works in the south of Tokyo, and we currently live in the north of Tokyo, and I work in the north of Tokyo, right near our apartment.
We don't even live in the north of Tokyo. We live in the south of Saitama, which is north of North Tokyo.
North of North Tokyo.
So my commute right now is an hour to work and an hour home.
It's like an hour and a half door to door, right?
It's an hour and a half door to door because I get on my bike, I bike to my station, I ride the train for 50 minutes, I get off, and then I have a 15-minute walk to the office.
Yeah.
So it is quite a trek. So that leads us to a change that's going to happen in the future, and that is that we are planning to move again.
We need to move by July because the contract on our apartment expires then. So
this creates a lot of strange things for us because in Japan, you need to have a guarantor for your apartments, a Japanese person or a Japanese company that's willing to say, hey, if this person messes up on their stuff, we'll take the responsibility. And for the last 2 apartments, and I say 2, even though we lived in 3, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The last 2 apartments.
All the apartments we've lived in.
Thank you. Were all guarantored by our teaching companies. And that kind of goes hand in hand for teaching companies. They know they have to do that. We don't want to be a guarantor to Eric's teaching company because in the long run, we don't want him to work there anymore.
I mean, for the year I've signed a contract, so
Yeah.
I probably will be here for the year unless something horrible happens. But the thing that sucks is like when you have that guarantor system, you're tied to the job then.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can't move jobs because my house is tied to my job, and it gets very complicated. Like so, we've been lucky; we haven't been like super like mistreated or anything. But if you're in a job and they're mistreating you, you're kind of stuck because you can't just go rent another apartment. It's not that simple.
When contract time came for us at our current job, they told us if we weren't continuing with them, we had to move out of our apartment. And I mean, that makes sense. There's no contract between them and us. There's no money flowing between them and us that they can withhold from us. So I understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes for like a panic if you leave a job. You gotta leave a job, move into a new apartment. It's like your whole life has to change.
And moving into a new apartment is expensive. You have to pay realtor fees and key money and all these crazy security deposits and all that stuff. So it's not like it gets extremely expensive to switch apartments in this country.
Yeah, and we've been pretty lucky not to have to do those things
Yeah.
through like luck again.
Yeah,
We're
dumb
really
luck.
lucky.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we're planning on moving into Tokyo. We haven't really decided where we're going to move.
And her new company won't be a guarantor because they're not used to hiring foreigners. Most of the foreigners that work there are married to Japanese citizens, so they don't have to deal with this guarantor thing. So she asked and they were like, it's not really something we do, which is what we expected.
Yeah.
So basically we need to find a place to live in Tokyo that will rent to foreigners without a guarantor.
And if I had to guess, the percentage of apartments that are foreigner rentable would probably be 10 to 20%.
If that.
Yeah.
Even without a guarantor.
That's a wishful thinking.
Yeah, that's
thing.
a wishful guess.
So that means that 80% of the apartments that we could see that could be nice, that could be good, we don't get to see them.
People just will flat out not rent them to us.
Yeah.
Even though we can show like, look, we've got this much money in the bank and we have jobs and we've been here for so many years, like it doesn't matter. When Tommy and Emma were here, Tommy had permanent resident status and they wouldn't rent to him. Like his dad, who owns land in Japan, had to be a guarantor.
And that was still like not super kosher.
Yeah, and they had to like kind of like twist their arm. And you have a Japanese friend who her dad had to guarantor her apartment.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you have to find the oldest person you know, and then you put their name down.
Which is tricky because we don't know we don't have family here, so.
But the what's the word I'm looking for?
I just don't know, dude.
I can't think of it. The population of foreigners needing apartments. There's a different word for this, but
Demand?
the demand of foreigners needing apartments in Tokyo is getting bigger, and I mean, they don't all have guarantors. I mean, you don't come here and know somebody's grandma.
Yeah, so
there's
a way around this, and we're working towards figuring it out.
Yeah, so we found a couple companies that say you don't need a guarantor, but then you still wonder what's the quality of the apartment going to be, and so it's a pretty interesting, possibly sketchy world we're going to walk into.
Yeah, and we only have like a month and a half, 2 months to figure this out. So,
yeah.
So if you know anybody who has an apartment that they want to rent to us, and it's affordable, and it's sort of central-ish Tokyo, it doesn't have to be on Yamanote-sen, it can be anywhere. But just between South Tokyo and North Tokyo, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Because that would really cut our commute. We could split our commute, and it would make our lives much nicer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's our life right now. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to update people on.
No, we're almost done with the Myanmar videos. By the time this video is posted, probably we'll still have Myanmar part 7 left, and that'll be probably the last part.
Yeah, I think so.
Then after that, I've got a couple other video ideas, but then we have to start thinking of new video ideas.
I got tons of ideas.
We just don't have time.
We really don't. Like now that
tough.
10 hours of my life are sucked into the train.
Well, not into the train, into work. 10 hours of your life. Oh, every week.
I spend 10 hours a week on the train.
Yeah, that's true. You need a 3DS.
No, I just need to keep studying Japanese, by the way.
Finally.
Today, April 20th marked our 3-year anniversary here. And yeah, I guess it's about time. Yeah, I have all this extra time on the train, and I might as well use it for something progressive, so.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's explore this Totoro forest.
Okay. Sayonara.
We've stumbled across this. It's like a hill for skiing and snowboarding, only it's summertime. So they put down like an AstroTurf style thing. And then at the bottom there's a swimming pool, and it looks like the people are like doing flips and stuff into the swimming pool. And then they've got like this escalating device so that you can go back up to the top. So this is something that exists apparently.
Going backwards? This is something I never ever thought existed.
We're escalating up a hill.
I got this shit.
It was supposed to look like pleasant and like a nice like fluffy thing, but then you just destroyed it. It's like a bomb going off.
No wishes for anyone.